Well, Ash, thank you so much for joining me on Behind the Art. I've been a huge fan of yours for a long time, and this is my 17th artist interview, and it's still a surprise when you guys are up for doing these because I'm kind of a nobody, and you're amazing. Really love your work, and I think people can, I think it's important for people to know who you are, and I'm hoping this interview helps a little bit more. But welcome.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. That's funny. I don't. I mean, you're more of someone than I am, I think.
No, I mean it's really hard to tell with social media because everybody's like has their social media personas, but then it's very filtered. Like the filtered reality. You don't really know who these people are, if they're struggling, if
True.
they're not. But yeah, I would say
Yeah,
that you're. I mean, I think in terms of just like your. I mean, you have a lot more followers than me, but I mean, the fact that I've come across your work
mm,
numerous times like is proof. I'm kind of yeah, I'm
yeah.
still sort
Fair enough.
of
That's good enough for me. It's a good enough measure for me.
but yeah, so I know I reached out to you a couple months ago and you were working on some new pieces and I wanted to know which ones were those. Was
Oh,
that the Maynard piece that you just released, or was it like are you still working on them?
I'm still working on that. Yeah. I always bite off more than I can chew, and at the moment, I'm very much feeling that. But no, I'm working on something. I want to do a show of. And so I've started a few like little studies and stuff, but yeah, I haven't even started like a main piece yet. The main one I started in 2020, funnily enough.
Yeah, I could
So it's
see.
gone
Yeah,
on.
because you're, I mean, you're a traditional painter, so that's a whole other. I mean, it's very like the process is probably a little bit more. You have to really be sure of what you're going to paint and like plan ahead and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, you'd think that, but I'm not a very good, I'm very undisciplined. And so I try to have a plan, but then the plan just falls apart. No, it doesn't fall apart, but the plan changes. And I just
Yeah.
go with it, which be holding me back. I'm not sure, but that's just my process.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as the finished product is there and you're somewhat satisfied with it, because I know being
Yes.
an artist myself is like even if I like a piece, I'll post it and then I'll just be like a few months later, I'm like, oh man, I just don't like that piece that I made for some reason. So it's like a
Mm.
constant battle of like self like hate of like your own work. But it kind of keeps
True.
you motivated, I guess. Yeah.
I wonder if like because you're digital as well, like it's always there. You've always got access to changing it. Whereas like if I finish something and it leaves my presence, then it's done, you know? I don't feel the need to like, okay, I probably could have done that differently or so that kind of
Yeah,
helps.
I think yeah, because I've been sort of because I draw and paint as well. I don't really do it like I don't sell my stuff because I feel like I'm
Mm.
just not really practiced enough. Um, but yeah, digital has its positives and negatives, but it's more of like you feel like since it's so easy to create because I use like a lot of like photos, 3D things like that in my artwork.
Mm.
So there's a feeling of like I should be quicker and create more artwork as opposed to like, taking the time and producing
Oh,
something really amazing. And that's kind of like why I like your stuff because it's very, just we're actually kind of similar in style. You're just more traditional. Like I really like your kind of
mm.
surrealist kind of stuff. But I think it forces you to sort of take your time as well because you're working with paints and drying time and all that stuff. So
Mm. That's true, and it has taught me a lot about patience because I'm not very, or have not been very patient, and so it forces that, which is good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that is true. But I think that your work's amazing. So I don't
well,
think
thank
you're
you.
like
Yeah.
dropping the ball or anything. Like you
Oh
know.
no, I think it's more of I'm just jealous of like the traditional artists now because with AI and all that stuff, it's just very like I'm kind of
Mm,
like getting a little like, oh,
true.
maybe I should have practiced a bit more in the last 20 something years. You know what I mean? Like just to kind of be more
I don't know.
familiar.
I
But
think the AI thing will, like, like everything, it kind of goes in a big wave, and then people
yeah,
just like don't care about it anymore. So,
yeah, totally. Okay, so for the first question, you can go far back as much as you want, but
um,
when did you start creating artwork? Have you always wanted to be an artist at a young age, or was it something you discovered when you got older? What's the story?
well, I was always making art for sure. Like when I was a kid, it was probably the thing that I got the most praise for. So maybe that had something to do with it. But I then I really didn't take it very seriously until I was like 28. So it was pretty late, I think. Well, I don't know. Everyone's on a different journey. But yeah, I studied before that. I did do a diploma, but I still wasn't really taking it seriously. I was just kind of like meandering and like doing a bit of drawing, and it was just like I didn't really have a serious practice until I just one day had this discovery that I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I've just been kind of ignoring it, or like keeping on the back burner, or also just like really believing that it can't really be a career. Um,
Yeah,
so I think that was like, yeah, the financial aspect of it was like in my head because my parents very much like value money. Like money is their measure of success, which I understand, and it is a good metric for that. But um, yeah, it made me think, okay, well, you can't be an artist because they don't really make money. But
yeah.
it's not fully true because some artists do make a lot of money. So I don't know. I'm trying to change that mindset. Um, but yeah, it's been over 10 years now of taking it very seriously.
Okay.
So, mm.
Yeah, I feel as much as social media is kind of like the plague, it's somewhat, I think, opened a whole like, gamut of like artists being able to make money off their art, as before it was
Yes.
kind of like you were relying on, galleries or, having like some sort of, you know, person kind of running your business, but now you can kind of pretty much do it all because you have all the tools. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you can try to do it all. It's really fucking hard. Like doing all of the things. But I think it is way better that we don't have to work with a gallery. Um, I mean, obviously there are galleries I would love to be a part of, but it's also in my mind, I don't need them. It's more like I want them because I think they're really cool, and I, would love to be part of that. But it's not in my head of like, oh, I need a gallery to be successful. Like the career part is, yeah, social media, and I feel like we're lucky to have that because who knows, I don't know, there's so many artists that are like would never have been famous except that there's things like YouTube. It's like
Yeah.
really perpetuated their careers, like really weird people like Reggie Watts, for example. He's not a painter, but I don't know if you know his music.
Uh, uh, maybe, possibly, if I listen, maybe if I hear a couple of songs, I might know who he is.
Maybe, but he's pretty out there. And it's like someone like that, like he would never get radio time. He would never be famous, but for social media and YouTube. So I think that's like cool,
Yeah,
we're
there's a
lucky.
certain level of yeah, because even me, like, doing this channel, like, normally, like, you'd have to set up some sort of studio and like have
Mm,
this big kind of, orchestrate this whole thing. But now you can literally just set up a camera and say, hey, like, do you want to do an
yeah,
interview? And then you can post it on
totally.
your channel, and there's no, yeah, I mean, but the downside is definitely the competition angle of like, there's so
Mm,
many artists, so many good artists now. Like,
mm,
you just go on Instagram and you're like, man, like, am I
Yeah.
like, do I suck, or is this like just, there's just so many good artists out there, and it's
Yeah.
intimidating, but it's also inspiring because you can kind of, you know, you can just look up any kind of art and you can find it, and it's like it's pretty cool like that in that angle.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that, yeah, the inspiring part about it is amazing. Whenever I feel myself going into the like, oh God, like they're all so much better than me, or like I just feel overwhelmed, or that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not allowed to scroll anymore for a while until I get back to feeling like it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It only matters what you're doing, you know?
Yeah, I have to end up I end up putting my phone like in the room, so like I end up like not checking it every time I'm like out in the living room watching like a movie or TV show, because I always like start to doom scroll and I start feeling worse, and then you're like, okay, it's
Yes.
just time to put that away and give it a
Yes.
break, because it's just
Totally.
detrimental to like the creative process too, like if you're struggling and all that stuff.
100%. Yeah.
So, do you just do the art as your sole income, or do you have like a day job? And because I personally have like I do graphic design on the side as well
Mhm.
as my own artwork. So, do you have
Yeah.
something similar, or are you fully
Yeah,
independent?
I have. No, I've done that. And I wouldn't mind getting back to that, but on more solid business foundations. Like I'm still like, maybe my business skills need to catch up to my painting skills. But yeah, I have a I do like 3 days a week doing support work, so completely unrelated. Oh, it's not that unrelated actually. Like I've got three of my clients are students, like they're like art, like we do art together basically. So it's like I work with autism and, well, mostly autism and aged care.
Okay.
Um yeah, because it's like very flexible, and I am, well, it's not that anyway, it's like I can't do like an office job, even though I'm like kind of jealous. Like I kind of wish that I could, but I just can't. I can't do the same stuff every day. Like it just, I don't know.
You change it up, yeah.
Yeah, I need things. I need just stimulation. And yeah, so I kind of wish I could have a job like that, because it seems like kind of cute, because they're all like going out on Friday night together and all that sort of stuff, like, which sounds cool. Um, but yeah, I like having that consistent income, because rent is consistent, bills are consistent. Like there's all these consistent bills, and art income is less consistent, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it makes up a portion of my income, and I would like it to be more of it, but yeah, still working on that.
Yeah, I kind of because I did both. I did the 9 to 5. I worked in a sign shop, actually two sign shops.
Oh,
And the cool thing was the like working with other people. So you had that
yeah,
kind of like social
your
interaction.
friends. Yes.
Yeah. And now it's like I work from home, and I do have coworkers who I see like once a year, because I work for a music promoter, and we do a local like a reggae concert like
Oh,
locally where I
cool.
live, and that's the only time I actually see my coworkers. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's like once
Yeah.
a year, because everybody like lives different parts of the country, and
Mm,
but I do miss that, like just the kind of separation, because now it's like I'm doing graphic design at home, and then all of a sudden it's like I have to do a album cover, and it's like trying to like I'm in my
place.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's hard to get that inspiration when you're so burnt out on your regular work.
Yes,
So
totally.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of like I if I had a job that was completely separate, it might actually work out better for my art sake,
Mm,
because it's like I
maybe.
don't have. Yeah, maybe.
This is the thing, it's hard to know, isn't it? Because it's like I, I had a job, like I worked in hospitality for a really long time, and that was cool because yeah, it was like camaraderie, and it was really different. But you know, I feel like when you're doing like graphic design, or you're in the creative process more, you're probably gaining skills. You know, I mean, you're getting paid to gain those skills or hone them at least. So
Yeah,
it's nice.
yeah, for sure. Because I've been doing this for like 25 years, and like I'm still learning stuff like
Mm.
about graphic design that I probably should have known like 10 years ago. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
totally.
no one has to
Yeah.
know, because like everybody's sort of, I think, flying by the seat of their pants, like with their careers
Yes,
and like their skill levels. You just kind of learn,
absolutely.
you learn as you go.
Yeah, that's been my whole life. But yeah, what I was going to say is like I get mentally fatigued from like doing social work or like doing support work or doing like hospitality would be like a mental fatigue. And then when you go into the studio, it's like, I don't know, it's harder to get back into the zone of like creative thought versus logical responsibility thought.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's something that people don't realize how an artist's mind works. It's like,
Mm,
you like to just have a switch that you can just turn it on and off whenever you want,
yes.
but you get inspiration at the weirdest times of the day, and then all of a sudden the time that you have when you finally have the time, you like literally are like, and you're like, shit, like I can't,
Yeah.
you can't do
Totally.
anything, and it's like really frustrating.
Yeah. Or like you've just spent, 4 days in your studio and then you go out and you're like talking to someone and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm like a potato. I like can't remember how to be social because I've just been a hermit for 4 days straight,
Yeah.
So it goes kind of both ways.
So
Mm.
I'm one of those people like go on YouTube and I like look for artists and I look at like their daily routine. And so just because
Mm.
it's just interesting to me because it sort of inspires me too. What's your daily routine like the average like work day?
Okay. Well, I'm really proud that I have a pretty good routine these days because I used to have basically no routine. Um, but well, okay, I should preface with, but when it comes to being in the studio, pretty much anything goes. And I mean, you can't, it's blocked out, but there's a lot of mess either side of me that I've tried to hide from the camera because there's so much going on in here. But yeah, so the routine falls apart inside the studio. But before that, I go to CrossFit. I've joined an exercise cult. And so I do that. I try to do that, you know, 3 to 4 times a week if I can. So that keeps me like sane. And then it's like, breakfast and then coffee, breakfast. So obviously coffee. That's like every morning. And then like it's pretty much go into the studio. So these are the 4 days that I'm not working. I would do like Saturday, Sunday, I'd probably like play around with like trying to do more like admin-y stuff and doing videos and like social media stuff. And then Monday, Tuesday is like being in the studio all day, whether it's like drawing or like painting or whatever, like going through the list. And then my work days are like they start off the same: exercise, go to work, and also try and drink 2 liters of water every day. That's
Gotta stay
that's pretty
hydrated.
much my routine. Yeah. Even in winter, which is the hard one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I just
Oh,
feel like that's like the biggest thing that I was missing before before I moved. So I moved from Melbourne to where I am now. And I just didn't really do any exercise. And I think that was like the thing that has like made my whole life so much easier is just making sure that that gets done each week.
yeah, because I've been kind of like since I've been working from home, I sort of adopted like a little workout routine in like my house,
Mm,
and because I have like from years of just sitting at the computer desk, like my back is so screwed
yes.
up. Like I have like sciatica and like
Wait,
just
you
like
exercise at home as well?
you what?
You exercise at home as well as
Yeah, I
the
do. Yeah.
and see, you got to find something outside the house.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, because the longer I stay in, the like harder it is to leave. I do
Yeah.
pick up my son. He stays at
Oh,
my in-laws house, so I
mm.
do go out like at least once a day, like to pick him up.
Oh, that's nice.
but
Okay.
uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, I rarely leave the house, or um,
Mm.
even like because it's hard to take breaks when you're working, because
Yes.
I'm one of those people that like to finish the job, and then once it's finished I can like go, okay, now I can just like go to the store or go for a walk.
Yes.
Like if jobs are keep need more
Yes.
changes, it's hard to like leave, so that's my
Yes.
issue.
Oh, yeah, I have that. I have that as well. I think it's called overfocus or hyperfocus or something. It's really hard to
Yeah,
change tasks.
and it
Yeah.
gets worse. Like it's like been getting worse, because it's like I literally
Mm.
can just do whatever I want, but I choose to not do the thing that is probably going to be helpful for my own
Yes.
health. But I do,
Yes.
we have a backyard, and I go out there and I sit out there for like 15 minutes and have my coffee, and so I take little
Oh,
breaks.
I get sunlight. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little lizard. I like to
Yeah.
kind of.
Totally. That's funny. Yeah.
So so you do acrylics and oils, or do you
Mm.
prefer one or the other, or do you kind of do both, or do you just
Oh.
depending on the project?
It's I mean, I guess there can be some, depending on the thing, that can be an element. I love them both because I like them for different reasons. But if I could only choose one, I would probably choose oil. But I just love the speed and looseness of acrylic. It's so like, and you can make it so like drippy and sloppy, and
Oh yeah.
you can do that with oil, but then it becomes like really stinky and toxic and gross. So it's like it's not quite the same. So yeah, I love starting in acrylic and then making it look good in oil. That's basically my approach.
Yeah, I've never tried oils before, because I'm always like I'm afraid, because it's like I like the ability to like mix, because I'm like I
Yes.
use gouache myself, because gouache is like,
Oh, gouache is fun.
yeah, it's like similar to, I mean, it's more like watercolor, but it's more kind of like you can activate it, and you can sort
Yes.
of, it's similar to oil in that sense, where you can sort of like mix stuff on the can or the paper. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but it's like I have so many paints that I've got gifts for like birthdays and Christmas, that I just have to do it, because I want to incorporate it in my own work too. But
Mm,
it's just so, I mean, like you have a awesome studio, just like everything's out already, like you can just kind of pick up a paint part.
yeah.
For me, I have to set up everything, and
Oh,
that's the issue.
that's a huge issue. Like, yeah, if you can't leave it set up. If I didn't have things set up, I would probably not get anything done. Like, it's the biggest thing.
Oh yeah.
Like back in the day when I was like, yeah, pulling out my stuff, setting up on my bed, and like, it was so hard to get to that. And sometimes I would just leave it on the bed and like sleep next to it because it's like, otherwise it's not gonna it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. So I'm so blessed to have a studio. But yeah, I like gouache. I've just been playing with that recently. It's so much fun because of the like acrylic's so like it's so harsh. It just dries on you, and it's like, yeah, it's hard to get like a nice blend, or like, I don't know. I agree,
Yeah.
it's similar to oil in that sense.
Yeah, it's one of those mediums that are it was like very popular like in the back in the day, like for like movie
Mm,
poster illustration, because it dried
yeah,
really quickly, and it photographs really well too.
yeah, the
But
matness.
yeah, but I've kind of grown to love it, because it's just like, there's not a lot of fumes, and it's just water, so it's very easy to
Yes.
clean up, and
And it
so
looks so good. It's so opaque, and like it reminds, like that's an element that I like about oil that I don't like about acrylic is acrylic dries darker. So it's really hard to like get for me anyway, I find it really hard to get the values right. Whereas gouache, well, gouache when it dries, it does dry a little darker, I guess, but they're just such nice, powerful colors. There's no like acrylic, I don't know, it goes a bit funny. It looks good when you
yeah,
varnish it, but. Mm.
Yeah, I always feel like acrylic is very rubbery. Like if you're trying to paint kind of
Mm.
like long, kind of broad strokes, just like it seems like if you don't like really drench your brush with paint, it just like dries out halfway, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta go
Yeah.
over it again. Not very
Yeah.
smooth, I guess, is like maybe because I don't like prep my canvases. I just like sort of like don't like sand them down so they're smoother or whatever. Or
Okay.
maybe it's, yeah,
Mm.
maybe I suck.
Could be that. Could be that. Could be the gesso. Some
True,
gessos
yeah.
are like really absorbent. Mm.
Yeah, and the canvas has those kind of, the bumps,
Yeah,
and
the weave. Yeah.
yeah, hard to grab that paint.
Yes.
Um, so what's your, like, how long does it take for you to finish a painting? So obviously I've been seeing that Maynard painting. Looks like did you paint it on like wood or like board, or what was that? Because
Yeah.
like
The wood
that
panel.
looks like a
Yeah.
pretty extensive, or it's pretty big
It
painting.
is. It is really big. And in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have done it on wood, um, because it's so big that, like a quote to send it to like to ship it to the States is like pretty high. So not the smartest business move, but I did start it 6 years ago. So
Oh wow, okay.
yeah. So I don't often take that long. Like I'm actually pretty quick, but there are certain paintings that for some reason just end up taking me really long. And that one was like, his face really hasn't changed much since I did it. I did his face in 1 week in 2020. And then I don't know, I just got like super burned out, and I've only like sort of painted on it a little bit. And then like, it's like I don't know I guess burnout's the only word, but like that particular painting burned me out to the point where I like couldn't work on it. And so it was like really like I'd work on a little bit, and then I wouldn't for like a year, and then I would, and then I wouldn't. And that just went on until last year, when I was like, okay, you have to sit down and finish this fucking painting. And I did. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's not the standard of how long things take me normally. It just like really blew out because, yeah, I don't know. 2020 was a weird time, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's definitely I think we all remember that pretty
yeah,
well. We all kind of
yeah,
experienced it together.
yes, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I would like. I never count the hours, but I know that I did a really quick painting. But it still took about, what was it in the end? I think it was 12 hours, and I still was like, it's not really done, but it was done enough. I was trying to do it in 4, and then I realized how that 4 is like insane. I can't do that.
Yeah, that's actually pretty quick, actually, if you
Mm.
really think about it. That's like,
I
half a
think
day, or I mean half a
totally.
24 hours.
Yeah, if you didn't stop for 12 hours straight. That's true, but it's like that's me being really quick. So
Okay.
I would say they probably average it more like 50 or more. But I really don't know, honestly. I don't count it. So yeah.
So speaking of Maynard, have you, like, you're super into Tool? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like I see some Alex
Is it
Gray
obvious?
influence
Yeah.
for sure. But have you ever worked with like the band directly, or like have they ever
No.
reached out or said, "Hey"? Because it seems like you
No.
have. Like it's just weird to see, like, because for some, like, why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Like, because I would
Oh,
think.
because that's nice. Because they can work with literally anybody that they, Um, I mean, hopefully one day would be cool, but yeah, I don't know. I I just I'm such a fangirl. I can't help myself. Like everything that I love it so hard. So yeah, I haven't worked with them, but I would love to, and hopefully that'll happen one day. But if it doesn't, it's fine. I've painted them so often that it's like
Yeah.
probably creeping them out at this point.
Yeah, actually, I'm not like the biggest Tool like fan, but I know I like a few of their songs. But I am a Perfect Circle fan, so it's kind of
Mm,
weird. Like I prefer kind of the more kind of his
moody.
yeah kind of stuff because I listen to a lot of progressive like rock and metal. Like I like
Mm,
Rush, I like Yes, and I but for some reason Tool like hasn't clicked with me. Like, but maybe it will.
interesting.
Maybe down the road it will.
Maybe it could. Oh,
Yeah.
it so could. Maybe you really have to give it like a good chance because like most progressive music, it's like sometimes the first listen you're like, I'm not saying that you've only listened once, but like you really have to be in it. And I feel
Yeah.
like even like Tool's new album, the first listen I was kind of like, oh, what was that? Like it was weird. And then it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say they groom you, but it's like it feels like that. Like you have to keep listening and eventually you're like, oh my God, like I don't know, it just clicks.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
think that
yeah.
style of music is always like, I mean, I listen to a lot of like obscure kind of bands that aren't very mainstream, and like a lot of their stuff
Mm,
is like I'm an album person. I listen to the album like front to back. I don't just listen to singles, and
yeah.
so yeah, I kind of get that, and it totally can happen. Like you can listen to an album like 20 times, and then the
Yes.
21st time, it's like, oh crap, it clicked, and now
Yes.
it all makes sense, and that's cool.
Totally. And I love that feeling because it's like it's challenging you. It's challenging your brain because it's so like your brain's like, what? And then one day it just like full like hits you in the right way. And I still get that even with like songs of theirs that I've listened to for years. And then suddenly I'll be like, oh my God, like that song is fucking insane. And it's really like somehow just hit me in a different way. But maybe it's like a life, like where you are in your life or your circumstances
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So is it safe to say that music definitely influences your artwork? Like, because I listen to music when I'm making art, and that's like I have to. So is that kind of the
Yeah.
same thing with you?
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, especially lyrics. I think I'm very like wordy. Um, like lyrics or words evoke images in my head. So like very good lyricists or even lyricists that aren't even that great, but then they just have like one line that like really just like paints a picture in my head. That's like, yeah, that's been a huge influence over the years. So yeah, I would say yes. And also that for me, I have like I'm still working on my ability to feel and recognize some emotions. Like I get especially like more difficult emotions. I've been more of a like repressor
Oh,
or
okay.
bottler. So music and film and like well mostly those two things, they're like been always been my safe places to feel a lot of those feelings. And so I really like a lot of like very moody, emotional, sad music. And
Oh
like I
yeah.
would put Tool in that kind of like Tool are pretty like it's pretty emotional. Some of it's very like, I don't know, makes me feel shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I listen to a lot of like sad music and like The Cure, Typo Negative,
Mm.
Catatonia. Just like this, like the Swedish stuff is like really good because they're just like depressed
Yeah,
for
they're
some
so
reason.
melodic. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's dark half the year.
yeah, and I mean, Sweden. There's like, I mean, like they're just like really talented musically. Like they're very like I think there's just like in their culture or something because
Absolutely.
like so many good. I mean, ABBA and like I
I was
mean,
about to say ABBA.
yeah, like I mean,
I
so
love
many.
ABBA.
Yeah, yeah. My wife loves ABBA as well, and
Oh,
but
yeah, that's
um,
not a cool band to love, but I do fucking love ABBA.
yeah. I mean, the older I get, I'm like, I kind of I used to be so like
Control.
oh I can only listen to the elite metal stuff, as a teenager. But now that I'm like
Mm,
43, I'm like I'll listen to whatever I want. I'll listen to the Bee Gees. I'll listen to like I
yes,
don't care. Like it sounds good to me.
totally. Yes,
I mean,
living out best cringe life.
yeah, that's the upsides to growing older is like you kind of
Yeah,
just you care less and you're like
totally.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I noticed like actually on Instagram that you frequent like like you do live paints quite a bit. Like you go to these like festivals and then you paint
Mm,
while like bands. Like how I've always wondered because like I try to do like just with the camera like filming me drawing, and I
mm,
get really self conscious is with the camera. Like how do
yeah.
you like do people walk by you while you're painting and like just like, oh, that looks great, how do you do that? And you're just like how do you
Like
like,
this.
is it distracting like when you're painting and like trying to do
Oh
that
yeah.
live? Or
It's so distracting. But you're like, in my opinion, you don't really do it to actually get any work done. Like you do it to like be out and be social and show your art in a way that's like people are kind of intrigued. Um, and you're like, and they're like people that are in your area, which I think is really cool. Well, I've moved away from where I did most of them, but um, yeah, it's just like a cool way to meet people who actually respond to your art, which is, I think, a really beneficial thing if you want to take like your art career seriously. Um, but in saying that, like, the other night, like this guy, I don't think he realized it was my painting, but he kind of came up, he just started talking to me. He was really young. And he was like, what do you think of that painting? And I went, that one, like pointing to mine. He was like, yeah. And I was like, it's pretty good. And he was like, yeah, 3 out of 10. And I was like, really? 3 out of 10? And he's like, yeah, what? Would you have that in your living room? And I was like, I probably would. And he's like, no. I was like, okay, cool. But it's like, I don't know. That obviously it would be better if he was like, oh, that was amazing. But you get those as well. It's just that sometimes you get those people that are like very honest, and it's like, it's not for them. So that's fine. Like, yeah, it's good to be around your target audience if you can. Um, but I don't really know who mine are. So I just keep showing up to shit and hoping that a few people react, and usually there are like a small handful that do, and so that's like, those are my people.
yeah, yeah, I mean
Mm.
that putting yourself out there is like the number one fear of most artists. I mean, whether it's like
Mm.
you're painting or if you're a musician, it's like you can practice all you want, but once you put your work out there and get like people, whether they love it or hate it, it's like the
Yes.
the process of you doing that is like the biggest step you can probably do.
Yeah, it's
So yeah,
scary.
for sure.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, I don't get it very often, but occasionally you get like the like negative comments on Instagram or whatever, and it's like just people being mean for no reason, whereas at least in real life I don't feel like he was being mean. He was just being like, he was just being honest. And like, most people are pretty nice, even if they don't like your work, which is good. But it's just really like, yeah, it's part of the process. If no one sees it, then it's like an incomplete circle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think it's easier for people to kind of hide behind the computer
Yes,
screen or the phone screen and like comment or and
yes,
when you're doing it in real time and someone's like sort of critiquing it, it's like at least they're, I mean, well, he didn't know it was you, so maybe he would have
yeah. He might have been different if it. Yeah,
yeah, but
that's
at
true.
least you kind of got the experience of like someone who was honest, I guess.
Being honest, true. But then he called his friend over, and his friend was like, "I like it," and I was like, "Well, I like you, so."
So so the Australian, I know very little about Australia, but like would you say that the Australian art scene is kind of supportive of your style of art, or is there just all kinds of art that people are
Mm,
into over there? Or is it like I know I had a conversation before with somebody, a guest of mine, and is Australia more conservative in terms of like they don't like kind of weirdo art, or
yeah.
are they like open minded to like just kind of weird stuff?
I think Australia in general is not that supportive of the arts, but I do think that is slowly improving. So that's just like a general culture. We're very like, not me, but like they're very sport oriented here.
Oh, okay.
So art's like really not like a big thing, but I do think that is slowly changing. But then in terms of like me specifically, like sometimes like when I do the have you heard of the Oddities and Curiosities Expo?
Yes. Yeah, my friend who I interviewed, Stephanie Inagaki, she
Ah,
frequents
yes.
yeah, she frequents that a lot. Yeah. She does that.
Yes. So yeah, it's huge in America, but we get it once a year. We get, they do the most of the capital cities here. That is like crazy. Like it's like I didn't know that um so many people were into my art really until I did one of those, and I was like, whoa, like it's such a different experience when you're in front of like your target audience versus just like random people. But yeah, so they exist, but I still think like the majority of my collectors seem to be American.
Okay.
um yeah, so it's, I don't know, like this type of art, I mean, I don't even really know what my type of art is. Like I know it's somewhere between like the visionary, like psychedelic kind of art, and then the dark, more dark surreal kind of art. Like it's a bit of both. It doesn't really fit neatly into either. So that makes it a little more tricky for me to find like exactly what my niche. Well, I'm a niche in a niche, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I would say because like you have a lot of like kind of psychedelic elements, but you also have this classical feel, like especially with your figures. I mean, you're really good at like,
Mm,
anatomy and like uh doing the face and like especially I saw
yeah.
that you did a painting of Michael Hutchence of NXS. I remember seeing
Mm,
that a while back and I was like, oh whoa, that's really cool. And it looks just like him. And that's really tricky to do. Like when you're drawing like
mm,
the likeness, like getting the likeness
yes.
down is very tough. But you've seemed to kind of nail that. And you can once you do that, you can just put
Give you whatever
the
you want.
the human figure in any kind of situation, any kind of cool like surrealist environment, which is really cool. And that's kind of like
Yeah.
what I wish I could do, but I have to just do digital because yeah.
I'm sure you could do it. Just started pushing yourself a bit more in that
Yeah.
way. But yeah, I mean, likeness is, I love painting the face. It's my favorite part. The whole painting really is all just like I have to do the rest of the painting because I can't just paint the face, but if it were up to me, that would be like, it's just my favorite part. Yeah. So what were we talking about again? I've gone off my point.
Oh, about the Australian art scene.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So then, yeah, I've been really involved in like I've been going to what we call doofs, which are like, I guess they're like bush raves,
Okay. Kind of
festivals.
like Burning Man.
Yeah, a
Or
bit like
yeah,
that,
okay.
but
Yeah.
like that's obviously on an insane scale. So yeah, I've been going to those like since I was like 2018, maybe 19. And I'm 39 now, so like 20 years. And like within that scene, I would say even there, I'm still like it's probably still like a 5% as my people, but they love like they love colorful art. I do feel the influence of all of those festivals and stuff on my art because I love color and I like doing bright colors, even though I might do something kind of dark and moody, but then it's like still in like funky colors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
get like commissions, like, or do you just paint, post, and then someone's like, oh, I really like that, or is it like a little bit of both? Like, how is that?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. I do a lot of commissions. Yeah, that would probably be a big part of my income. But I do, and I sell a lot of like studies, like the littler ones. Um, yeah, I guess it's a mix. If I post stuff, then like I think things sell pretty well generally. There's occasionally things that hang around for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
that's kind of I think would be the pinnacle of like an artist if you could just you don't take commissions, you just paint something and then you just
Mm,
go, this is it. This is
yeah, this
the
is it. Buy this.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I want that, or all that stuff, because that's really hard to reach. I mean, you have to be kind of at a certain level, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's every artist's dream,
absolutely.
just to kind of be able to just paint whatever you want, and you'll get a
And
buyer.
and know it'll sell. Yeah, totally. I feel like it's funny because a lot of the commissions I would probably do anyway, but I like better if I can get somebody to confirm that they will buy it up front, like a normal commission, I suppose. I prefer that because then it's like when I'm doing it, like for example, when I paint musicians, like I have done them without it being a commission just because I wanted to anyway. But I prefer it if I can get it the other way where someone commissions me and then I get to paint them. And like I see that as one, I just enjoy doing it, even though it's like a bit more traditional and a bit more like straightforward. It's just fun. It's fun to take a break from having to use my imagination. I think that's the fun part, you know? It's like you're just
Yeah,
getting a photo.
you don't. Yeah, you don't really have to think about it. You're just like,
No,
okay, it's gonna, and it's also, especially if it's an artist that you like, it's kind of like
yes,
okay.
exactly. And then it's like fun because I just like, for example, with Michael Hutchins, at the time when I got commissioned for that, I didn't even know that I was a huge In Excess fan because I knew all the songs, but I didn't ever know who sang them. And
Okay, yeah.
then I got the commission, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to In Excess flat out while I paint it, which I did. And I was like, oh my God, I love this song. Oh, I love this. I know this song, like all of them. And then now I'm like officially, yes, I'm a huge In Excess fan. I fucking love them. So I get to have I love that element of it. So even if I could just do whatever I wanted, I'd probably still keep that element of my business of like being able to commission a musician and then get to listen to them and then like sell prints of it, or I don't know, it's kind of a cool aspect.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Like I'll just kind of like want to do some, because I'm a big like kind of like comic book nerd. Even though I don't read a lot of comics, I like
Mm,
superhero stuff like Superman and Batman. But I occasionally I'll just like do some comic book art, and I'll slap their logo on it and be like, oh, this is like the new kind of like, just for fun, just to kind of get some
yes,
sort of, maybe some reach or whatever. But yeah,
yeah,
it's nice to be able
totally.
to know like there's no thinking involved. You just kind of like, okay, I know how the character looks like. I'm gonna like make him however in whatever pose, and then be done with it.
Mm,
As opposed
yes,
to lately, because I've been like, I usually just sketch stuff out on my little sketchbook, and I plan out everything. But lately, I just been sort of like going, okay, well, I'm gonna render something in 3D. What can I do here? Let me throw this
yeah.
like piece of and I like it, but I also I wish I could just focus more and kind of like plan it out
Mm,
more, So
mm. But maybe that's part of your process, is like having that kind of intuitive element of not really knowing.
yeah, it's definitely a new. I've adopted it kind of in the last like few years.
Mm.
Maybe it's a little bit of laziness, but it kind of evolved into like the process a little bit. But
Yeah, yes, I can relate to
so,
that.
yeah. Have you ever like done any digital stuff? Like do you have an iPad or like a tablet
Yes.
or yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I have an iPad and I use Procreate. I do try to plan like 90% of my paintings, and like I'll do it on there. And that will start with like either like start with a pose and then like do some like photo collage, or maybe a little bit of painting and fucking with the colors and stuff. But like generally what happens is then I start it and then it starts looking nothing like what I've planned. And so then I take a photo of what it looks like, and then go back into Procreate and kind of work from there to like figure out, okay, will I do this or that? Or, but often I find like I can't, it's just not the same. So like even digitally, I'm like, okay, would it be better if it was blue or purple? And then I'll put it in and I'm like, I still can't tell. Like, I feel like I can only tell when I'm looking at it in paint. So it helps to a degree, but yeah. Anyway, I love Procreate. I use it a lot. It's the best.
Yeah, to kind of comp. I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, I know like was it Frank Frazetta? I actually have his print about behind me. But
Wow.
yeah, he does like a lot of those artists. They do the comps, like a little tiny, you use gouache or watercolor just so
Yes.
they can test out colors, and then they'll work on the oil painting, the main painting. But
Yeah.
you're basically using digital to do that, so it kind of
Exactly.
saves
Yeah.
time. And
Thumbnailing or whatever. But like, I would like to use gouache to do those. I feel like that's something that I would probably benefit from. And like doing more drawing, doing more. I should plan more. I should plan more. But I think I'm a little lazy as well, and just keen. I just want to get started, you know.
yeah, do you do a lot of like live like do you do references like live references, or do you just do photos? So I know
Um,
I've seen some photos of you doing some like live drawing. I believe so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I do. I do that, but I wouldn't say I do it enough. Like, I fucking love live drawing. That's really fun. It's fun, and sometimes it's shit. I guess sometimes it's terrible, but it's like, it's a bit like when you play pool, and like sometimes you're really good, and then other times you're like absolutely rubbish. It's like that. It feels like sometimes I do it, I'm like, oh, I am absolutely crushing this, like so good. And then other times I'm like, I can't draw. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me.
And everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing it. But yeah, so I do that. I do photo shoots with people when I can, and try to take my own reference photos, and often work from those. But then I also have this website that I go to called Pose Space, I think.
Okay.
And so you can like buy a collection of photos of like a model or a particular pose. So I've got those as well. And I just kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. I basically either I have the idea and then I look for a pose that suits it, or I start the other way around where I see a pose and that gives me an idea.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like it's all about the pose and then the lighting.
Mm,
Like the
mm,
pose will like inspire me, and then the lighting uh makes me figure out everything around it. And then once that's
right.
established, it's like fun. But getting to that point is the challenge.
Oh, that's so smart. I should be thinking about the lighting more.
Well, because like yeah, I work in 3D programs, so like I
Mm,
literally can just go set up a light source from whatever angle, so I can just kind of like, oh, what if I did like some sort of object glowing? What would the light look like? And I can like literally do
wow.
that. So it kind of
Wow.
like do some sort of background that kind of goes with it. But I mean, you can do the same thing with just live reference, or just have a friend hold something, or hold something that's
Yes.
glowing, but it's a little bit, you need to have your friend available at all times. Like,
Well,
hey,
exactly. Yeah. And I don't like using myself. I have, but I prefer not to if I can. Um, but yeah, I think it's like that. I've always wanted to do the 3D rendering thing because of the fact that you can move the light around. Because sometimes I don't know where I want the lighting to be. You know, when you're
yeah,
doing the photo shoot, it's like, yeah, do this, and then you have the lights set up. And but then when I'm painting it, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if this was glowing? Like she's holding something that's glowing, and so that's completely different lighting. So yeah, then I
yeah,
kind
I
of
know.
figure it out.
I know they have some like resources that you can just they have like a real like they're very easy to use. Probably something for the iPad too. That's just like it's basically like a
The
little dummy,
model.
and you can kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
move the lighting around, and just for reference
Yes.
sake. They do have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so many tools now. But
I know, we're pretty
yeah, that would
lucky.
that would be the downside to working traditionally. Because like for me, it's like I can always just like mess around with the lighting, like be satisfied, then start working on it. But like Like
Mm.
for you, if you were painting, like you said, oh, I want to change the lighting, but now it's like too late. I have to like repaint the whole
It's
thing.
yeah, or like, oh yeah, not even that. Like I mean, I heard David. Do you know David Van Gogh? Does
Sounds
maybe
familiar. I'll look him up
he's
after the interview, and I'll
yeah.
post a picture.
Well, yeah, he talked about in his interview once where he's like, he said something about lighting. He was like, oh, lighting doesn't have to make sense. Like in movies, it doesn't make sense, and you still believe it. And I was like, that's so true. And like maybe for some people that is like a real thing for them that they can't stand if lighting doesn't make sense. But I feel like if you can get it convincing enough, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I have changed lightings completely before where it's like, but then, yeah, anyway, it's a pain in the ass, basically.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen it like all those like old school like Drew Struzan, like those movie posters. Like he'll just have like kind of like a weird highlight on all the characters, like
Mm,
sort of like the floating heads, but they'll have like the scenes from the movie behind it. But that lighting technically doesn't make any sense either because there's no like. But
yeah,
visually, it looks good because it lights the character in a dramatic way. So yeah, you're right. I
exactly.
mean, it doesn't. I mean, because your work is like kind of surreal anyway, so you can sort of get away with that, and
That's
people won't.
my, exactly. That's my little thing of like, yeah, well, it's not a real reality, so it doesn't really matter. But as long as it's not like looking completely nonsense, like it's just going to be convincing. That's the only thing. None of it has to make any sense. None of it has to be real. But if it's convincing enough when you look at it that you're not like, oh, I don't know, if it's distracting or like not working, that's different.
Yeah, totally.
Mm.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like I had an art teacher, really good art teacher who does like he's like one of those people that loves like the Renaissance paintings and all
Mm.
the classics, but he's very traditionally trained and like he does not move past like he does surreal stuff, but he does like he makes sure that all the lighting's correct and like he's very
Mm.
doesn't do anything crazy, but I can show you his stuff like sometime in the future too. He's on Instagram
Yeah.
as well. So speaking, going back to kind of like social media, I know I kind of have to do it, but do you enjoy like, especially with Instagram now with like the reels, like you can't just post artwork anymore. Now you have to like kind of like do a
No.
song and dance with like your artwork and be like, hey, da, da, da,
Yeah.
it's kind
Yeah,
of annoying,
totally.
but I mean, do you enjoy that or do you kind of like wish that you didn't have to do that?
I definitely wish I didn't have to do it. Oh, yeah, it's exhausting, isn't it? But I feel like you can do it in a way that doesn't feel too gross, you know? Like it doesn't feel like this is just like obviously I would never just like do a little dance and I mean maybe I would, I don't know, maybe if it was funny. Maybe if it like I found a way to make it amusing for me. I don't mind if it's like amusing or whatever, because like I guess I'm not like I'm kind of a silly person generally. But yeah, it's not ideal, but I also get it because when I'm on Instagram and I'm, looking, you do stop for faces. You just do. Like I find myself like, oh, my friend's talking or whatever, like, and I'll just stop and listen to what they're saying. So I don't necessarily think it's the algorithm's fault. I think it's our fault. Like collectively, that's how people are behaving. They're sitting and watching people talk. Um, so it's kind of annoying, but you just got to play the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are days where I'm like very motivated to do it, and then there's
Mm.
days when I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it. But I'm sort of a ham anyway. Like ever since I was a kid, I was kind of like the class clown, like always like wanting to make jokes, this and that.
Yes.
I've sort of like sort of died down over the years, and but I still have that in me. Like I'm kind of like I want to be famous, but then again, I don't want to be famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's frustrating because I just want to like I mean, with digital art, it's a little bit like for you, you can kind of like actually hold the painting in front of the
Yeah.
camera and do that. For me, it's like, I mean, I'll have like some CD covers or some album covers that I've made, and I'll like do that. But that's pretty much it. That's all I can really do. It's like, I can't like go
That's
like,
so
here's my
true.
screen.
Look at my iPad. That's
Yeah.
so true. Oh wow. Okay, I'm definitely not. I mean, I'm jealous of your Control Z, Control Z.
Oh yeah.
Like, I would love that. Oh my god. But yeah, that is hard. I'm sure you could figure something out though. But yeah, like I've been resisting doing that. You know those like the reveal
Oh yeah.
videos? I've been resisting doing those, but oh my god, they fucking do so well that I was just like, who cares? Like, it's really not. It's not that much of a. It's not even a sellout, really. It's all I'm doing is just fucking turning around. Like, just because I
Yeah,
think
I
it's a bit
mean,
funny doesn't mean it works.
yeah, honestly, I mean, it's the same thing with I think in this day and age, posting your work as a faceless page or like it kind of like people want to see who you are, and it's
Yeah.
actually helped me gain more clients too, because if someone's going to pay me a bunch of money to do something,
Yes.
they're going to be looking through my, oh wait, he's an actual person and he,
Yes.
has a face, and so they're more likely to go to you because of that
You're not a
reason.
bot. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like I always try and imagine from their perspective, and I'm like, I get it. Like it's annoying for me because I don't want to. Or it's like, especially because like, being in the studio, I'm like more like homeless chic. Like I wear my pajamas all day if I can. But it's like then you're gonna do content. I'm like, oh, I have to like brush my hair. I have to like, do all this shit that I don't want to do. Because you can show up like a slob, but I don't think it helps in terms of like selling stuff. Because people want to trust you, and they don't trust homeless people. They don't look at they don't look at someone who looks homeless and go, "Oh yeah, I'll buy her $1,000 painting." So you got, I don't know. It's just like it's an annoyance,
Yeah,
but
no,
it works.
sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm wearing my like nice shirt. I should do a video just because like I don't wear nice shirts very often. Better take
Yes.
advantage. I'm kind of in a good mood right now. Like I literally like I did one a few days ago because me and my buddy went to a concert, and I was all excited. So I was like, I'm wearing my band shirt, got my
Yeah, I look
well,
good.
let's do a video, So yeah, I have to just kind of
Totally.
channel more of that, but it's fun
Yes.
sometimes, but other times.
Yeah, I know. It's annoying. But yeah, I think like anytime I wash my hair, I'm like, yep, today's a content day because I actually bothered to wash my hair. Like, it's annoying, but yeah, what do you do?
All right. So last question. I kind of asked my guests all these this question, but what's your dream project? Like, if you can pick anything to work
Oh,
on, what would be your ideal dream project?
hmm. I I mean, obviously doing a tool poster would be amazing. Um, I don't really know. Like I I would love to do another show that was like more interactive, like as in like having the live music there, um, and then having like a roving performer or something like that. Like, yes, I don't know. I don't really have like a dream project that I would like to do. There's dream. I'd like to somehow be involved with um, like a oh my god, okay, here's one. This is one that I've thought for years, and I'm like, why isn't this a thing? Huge metal festivals, why don't they have an art gallery? Like, why don't they have a gallery full of like sick dark artists that suit the kind of music that's happening there?
They actually do.
Oh,
A few of my friends were actually going to like
which
it's
one?
someplace in Germany. I think it's like Download
Oh, of
Festival
course.
or
Oh
yeah,
really?
it's yeah, European. I mean, anywhere in
Mm,
Europe, like the metal community is huge there. I mean, like they just love
yes.
it so much. But
And
yeah,
they
they're
respect art.
yeah, totally. but yeah, there are events that do that kind of like have, yeah. So
well, this is like my official call out to people in Australia running metal festivals. Like, you're fucking missing out on money. Like, if they take 30% or 20%, 10%, whatever, like there are 20,000 people there. Like, it's just so, like, there's so much to be made. Like, I know they make a lot of money on merch and stuff, so maybe they don't care, but these music festivals, they're like what are they, like electronic psychedelic festivals that I go to?
Yeah, EDM or something like that.
Yeah. They're like, they all have art galleries, and I know for a fact that they're making a fuckload of money off, like, there's however many artists in the gallery showing, and then all the merch, and then they take 10% and GST or whatever and tax, and they're making so much money just having that there. Like, I wish that was a thing. I don't want to do it because it's too much work, but
yeah,
I wish someone else would do it, and then I would love to show in. I'd like to try a gallery that's in a heavy metal festival, because I think it would maybe suit my art a bit better than the psytrance and stuff that I usually show.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that, because you guys get a few metal festivals over there, and like I'm surprised that's not the case, because they definitely do it in. I don't know if they do it in the States. I mean, I don't really go to festivals anymore. I'm just kind of like too old. Like I tend to just go to like club shows and like you know, kind of had like bigger, like like the old, like The Cure. I saw The Cure. I saw Tears for Fears too. But like yeah, so but I'm like, that's really surprising actually. Like, you should probably like talk to somebody and be like, hey. Well, no, you don't have to do it. We can just like set the ball rolling.
Hey, you guys should set it up and then let me show in it. That's what that's all I. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it in the States, although I think it would be cool, because I know that like all the festivals over there, like Burning Man and stuff like that, they do that. They all have galleries.
Yeah.
Like, and those are, they sell expensive fucking paintings, and so then the commission. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think it's a money maker, and I want to be involved.
All right, actually, I have one more question. I think a lot of people are probably like, knowing that you're from Australia. The huntsman spiders, are they really that big, or is that just like, are they like literally like this big, or I mean, how big are those things?
They can be fucking big. Like, they can be really big.
Jesus.
On their side. Yeah, no, they're huge, but they're like totally harmless.
Yeah, they're kind of like tarantulas. They're not poisonous or anything, or there's
tarantulas bite though, don't they?
No, they do, but it's not like, it's like a bee sting, I think. It's not like a poisonous. It's poisonous, but not deadly, I guess. It's like this kind of irritates your skin a bit. But I've actually held a tarantula, but
whoa. Yeah. They're really cool. They just, I mean, they freak me out. Like, I've painted a few spiders, and it doesn't freak me out, and I don't mind looking at them, but when they're actually like moving, and I'm very unsettled.
Are they like in like, do you get them in your house sometimes?
Huntsmans? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. But they're like I said, they're like really chill. I have actually heard of, I think my niece was bitten by a huntsman, weirdly, but that's so fucking rare. That never happens.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Yeah. Straight from the mouth of an Australian.
It's the least of your worries. It's the least of your worries, honestly.
Well, thank you so much, Ash, for doing this. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to leave a link to all your websites below the video. Everybody check out Ash's work. It's amazing. Again, thank you so much. It's really nice meeting you. I'm glad we did.
Nice to meet you.